MontanaSports.com. This is MTN Sports Extra.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Sports Extra on a Saturday night. And folks, no more waiting, no more predictions, no more talk. Fall sports are officially underway, and on the football field, 4 quarters will decide your winners. Montana State opens its Big Sky title defense with a doozy of a matchup on the road in Oregon to face the 7th-ranked Ducks. MTN's Grace Lawrence has more from the Cats' season opener.
Welcome into Autzen Stadium. I'm MTN Sports' Grace Lawrence as Montana State is looking to shock the college football world this Saturday afternoon. They're taking on Oregon, one of the premier programs in the FBS, in front of a 50,000-plus crowd and a national television audience. It's a Big Sky versus Big Ten matchup to start the season for these teams. The Bobcats come in ranked 2nd in the FCS, while the Ducks are ranked 7th among the FBS. Oregon starts with the ball and marches their way down the field. Ducks quarterback Dante Moore hands it off to Jaden Limer, who goes in for the first score of the game. And it's the home team who quickly gets the ball back, and Moore connects with his tight end, Kenyon Sadiq, for the 2nd touchdown of the day to give the Ducks a 14-0 lead. Oregon keeping it on the ground again. This time, Jordan Davison finds the end zone and adds another score for the Ducks. For the Cats, the highlight of the game was really Billings native Taco Dowler. Through the first half, he had 8 of the 9 receptions for the team, just stepping up to the plate. The Bobcats will put up points on the board, though, as Miles Sandstead field goal is good. Ultimately, one of the title contenders in the FBS was just too much to handle for Montana State. They return home next week for a high-stakes gold rush in Bobcat Stadium against South Dakota State. In Eugene, Grace Lawrence, MTN Sports.
2 Montana natives were selected in the 2025 NFL Draft, and both were left off active rosters on cut day as teams trimmed down to just 53 players.
Billings native Junior Bergen and Butte's Tommy Mellott were among the players waived Tuesday on the NFL's cutdown day, but Bergen will continue his pro career with the San Francisco 49ers. The former Montana Grizzlies star signed with the 49ers practice squad on Wednesday. Dylan Cook, another Butte product, was also signed to the Pittsburgh Steelers practice squad, but Mellott was left off the Las Vegas Raiders practice squad, with the team's general manager citing the reality of who is most ready and who is the furthest along.
Meanwhile, the Montana Grizzlies are still a week away from opening their 2025 slate, and what a schedule it is. 8 home games and no open dates. MTN's Kyle Hansen has more on how it happened and why.
There's a number of storylines circling the Montana Grizzlies heading into the fall of 2025, but arguably the biggest one is the gauntlet UM will undergo with 12 straight weeks of games, starting on September 6th with Central Washington. But head coach Bobby Hauck has noted this happened before in his first stint at Montana. That came back in 2008, when ironically the Grizzlies began the season September 6th of that year and played 12 straight games. They even played Central Washington that season in a close call by Montana, as the Grizz won the game by just 3 points in Missoula. But in 2025, the Grizz will begin their campaign against the Wildcats, the first of 4 straight games at home to start the season. UM will then rematch North Dakota in its second game as they look to avenge last year's loss, and that will be followed by a meeting with Indiana State, a team Montana beat in 2022. Rounding out that stretch will be the Big Sky opener with a rivalry matchup under the lights on national TV with Idaho. The first road game for Montana won't come until the month of October, when the Grizz head to Pocatello to take on Idaho State. Following that is 2 more home games, with Cal Poly followed by Sacred Heart in a non-conference contest. Back-to-back road trips will close out October and open November, as UM heads to Sacramento State and Weber State. After that, it's a home game against Eastern Washington, followed by a road contest at Portland State in Providence Park. And that'll lead to the granddaddy of them all, as Montana hosts rival Montana State for the 124th Brawl of the Wild on November 22nd. When the Grizzlies had this stretch in 2008, they made a run all the way to that year's national championship game, and now we'll try and replicate that success in 2025. Reporting in Missoula, Kyle Hansen, Scripps Sports.
NIL revenue sharing conference realignment. It's an unprecedented era of college athletics, and it feels like the little guy might be getting left behind. The Big Sky says, though, not so fast. Commissioner Tom Wistrcill and his staff have worked to ensure the conference has a seat at the table. MTN's Slim Kimmel takes a look at just where the Big Sky fits in the big picture.
We know who we are. We have very specific goals as a conference, and that's to win an FCS championship and participate at a really high level in Division I athletics in all other sports.
It was almost a mic drop moment for Big Sky Conference Commissioner Tom Wistrcill. We know who we are. Despite the evolving nature of college athletics, the Big Sky is comfortable with its place in the landscape.
Too many guys are complaining about the money and the transferring. And, well, my biggest focus is to just love the players, try to take care of them, create a good environment for them.
The core of what we're doing doesn't change. Is we gotta develop and mentor young men as best as we can. We gotta compete and do the best we can every single day. And that's what I love about the Big Sky, because I think that the purity of the student athlete experience is still there.
The Big Sky isn't perfect. Half of its 12 teams opted into the house settlement, half opted out, which means the league's teams aren't using the same playbook this season. Wistrcill expects that to change next year.
You got great leadership within the Big Sky, from the top down, from obviously the commissioner to the administration, and then the AD. So I think the Big Sky will always be in a good spot.
In the meantime, the conference is focused on creating the best college football league in the West.
You can't tell me that the Big Sky isn't as good as the Mountain West right now anyway. And I would tell you that if the Big Sky just merged with the Mountain West and we all played each other, I bet a Big Sky team would win that conference anyway, right? So I think the level of football here is as high as it can be underneath the Power 4 teams.
It might not be all equal off the field, but we played by the same guidelines when we're on it. And it's still 4 downs. Touchdowns are still 6 points. Extra points are 1. Field goals are 3. All that stuff is not a talking point when you actually lace it up and you actually go out there, flip a coin, and find out who's kicking or who's receiving.
Slim Kimmel, Scripps Sports.
Still to come, a rivalry renewed in the Frontier Conference. The Carroll Saints open at MSU Northern. Highlights from the High Line. That's next when Sports Extra continues.
Welcome back to MTN Sports Extra, powered by MontanaSports.com.
Well, the new look Frontier Conference opened its slate this week with a rivalry matchup on the High Line. MTN's Will Charlton takes us to Havre, where the MSU Northern Lights host the Carroll Saints.
It's time for the second Week 1 matchup in the Frontier Conference that pins a couple of Montana football teams against each other, as the nationally ranked 25th Carroll Fighting Saints are here in Havre to take on MSU Northern.
It's been a long offseason, but college football is oh so back in Montana, and both teams came in fired up as you'd expect. Northern showed some nice prowess on its first drive, but would turn it over on downs near the Carroll red zone. Saints up 3-0 now, and they're back to work. Check out this nice connection on the sidelines between Caden Hewitt and receiver Lincoln Holmes. Shortly after, Hewitt will finish the job himself with a 1-yard touchdown rush. 10-0 Saints. While this was a defensive showdown, Carroll was in the driver's seat the whole time, and this 50-50 ball interception by Gunnar Julio helps to prove it. And this was the only score of the whole second half as Hewitt finds his guy Ty Wilkerson, and the Saints take this one 20-0. In Havre, Will Charlton, MTN Sports.
The roster at Rocky Mountain College has done a complete 180 under head coach Chris Stutzriem, as they now boast a boatload of Montana talent. Our Alec Boffinger caught up with one of those Treasure State gems in the running back room as he gears up for the 2025 season.
Helena Capital product Tough Adams is the exact type of guy that Rocky Mountain College head coach Chris Stutzriem wants in his program.
Number one is work ethic and who he is as a person. I mean, it doesn't matter. You'll never know if he's 100%, 10%. He performs the same way. He practices the same way. He is Montana tough, and he's a great kid. His name fits him. And
that was definitely, something we preached on through winter condo and summer, was that, we were, bottom of the barrel last year, and I think that's something that we need to come back from.
Stutz has made a point during his tenure at Rocky to recruit the homegrown kids like Adams, as there are Treasure State kids all over the Battling Bears roster.
I mean, if you look at from my first year to where we are now, we're close to 70% of Montana, Northern Wyoming kids, and we want to win locally. We're not going to win on everybody. They've got different majors or want to move away or go here, go there, and there's a lot of great coaches and teams in this conference that, make it hard to keep those good kids here. And but we want to win with those kids first and foremost.
Adams, a true 19-year-old sophomore, is expected to get substantial work in the backfield alongside running mate Brock Ping, a Billings Central grad. Those touches Adams earns this season are a product of his hard work.
Definitely competition level, and you got to love it. That's what makes you better, you know. Iron sharpens iron, and you got to believe that the person next to you is going to be able to do just as good as job as that you're going to do. I like to, put in the work. I'd say that's, one of the best things I do. So.
But he really grew each and every week, and his toughness is what we need. And, those frontier backs, I don't care what team you're looking at, they're big kids. And so we're excited for him, but, just how he attacks every day. He's fun to be around. Again, his leadership is growing, but he's 19 years old. And so he's going to keep growing and doing the right things, but he sets the tone in that room of what's expected.
Adams and Rocky open the season on September 6th at home against College of Idaho. In Billings, Alec Boffinger, MTN Sports.
Just ahead on Sports Extra, a trip around the state to recap some of the marquee matchups on the high school gridiron. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to MTN Sports Extra, powered by MontanaSports.com.
High school football got underway last night with some marquee matchups across the state. MTN's Johnny Walker recaps some of the bigger moments from the first Friday night lights of the football season.
We'll kick things off at the Class AA level, where Great Falls CMR hosted the reigning state champion Capitol High Bruins. Check out this connection between QB Caleb Taylor and wideout Blake Herda. It goes for 6 as CMR rallies off 28 unanswered to shock the defending champs. Elsewhere in Class AA, last year's state runner-ups, the Glacier Wolfpack, made the trek out to Billings West. And can I interest you in a defensive slugfest? This one came down to the final possession as Glacier made 4 stops inside the 10-yard line to preserve their Week 1 win. Now onto the Class A ranks, where Hardin Lodgegrass played its first ever game as a new co-op, hosting Stevensville. And the Bulldogs wasted no time making their mark. Check out this wild sequence that would ultimately set up a Hardin Lodgegrass score as Bulldogs just make it look easy. Marquee matchup in Class B between 2 of the classification's top programs. But it was Jefferson filling up the highlight reel, jumping out to a 21-7 halftime lead and ultimately hanging on 27-21 over Loyola. At the 8-man level, it's the reigning 6-man state champion Box Elder making the move up 1 classification. And the Bears certainly did not look out of place in their 8-man debut, forcing turnovers and pouring almost 40 points on Sims. And we'll wrap up this week's Friday football roundup with some 6-man action. Formerly Great Falls Central, St. Patrick visits Alberton. But check out the Flansburgh-Warren connection for the Wolfhounds as St. Patrick's rolls to a big win in Week 1. And don't forget, you can always find everything from pairings to scores to highlights and so much more on our website, MontanaSports.com. With your Friday football roundup, I'm Johnny Walker, MTN Sports.
Folks, our cameras will be on the sidelines all across Montana, and each day we'll count down the top 5 plays from across the state in our MTN Game Changers. But we can't be everywhere, so we need your help. If you see a play or a moment you think we should see, send an email to scores@montanasports.com and tell us how to find the video, or tag us on social media, and we'll consider including it in next week's edition of Game Changers. A pair of Missoula Hellgate Knights are staying in-state and in town to play college football. MTN's Kyle Hansen introduces us to the newest Grizzly commits.
The Montana Grizzlies still await the start of their 2025 season, but the Grizz added some local flair to their class of 2026 recruiting when over the summer they got verbal commitments from the Hellgate duo of Evan Pyron and Parker Link. Keeping Montana athletes in-state is always a focal point for UM, and when they can snag a pair of local talents out of their backyard, it's an early win before they've even suited up in maroon and silver.
It means a lot to put it across my chest and stay home here. The football environment is amazing here, just to be a Grizzly and all that, and also the academics, so finding both the athletic and academic fit was really important.
Pyron will be a legacy for the Grizzlies, as his mother, Krista Redpath, played for the Montana Lady Grizz, and now Pyron will get a chance to suit up for the same school next year. Recruited as a defensive lineman, Pyron has been a two-way player for the Knights throughout his career.
It's been bumpy in terms of that wins and losses, but you know, my MYF team, we're all Hellgate kids and we stuck it out going to Hellgate. And yeah, we kind of came in with that idea that we're going to change something, and I think this senior year we're going to do that.
Link has also been a two-way standout at Hellgate, and after this past summer, saw his opportunity open up to join his hometown team.
My parents have had season tickets since I was not even born yet. I've probably only missed 5 home games my whole life, and I've just continued to come every single game. Probably only missed 1 summer camp, and you know, I just keep coming to the Grizz, and all of my apparel in my house is Grizz stuff, so I was always kind of waiting on that.
Link will join the Grizz as a preferred walk-on as an athlete, a challenge he's ready to tackle head-on, like so many Montana natives before him.
Yeah, I think it's just extra motivating, especially staying home. People think like, oh, he's just a Missoula boy and he might just stay home because, I mean, the Grizz are just here and they see him all the time. But I think I've truly earned this spot, and I just want to keep grinding as hard as I can, keep putting my head in the dirt, keep going until I get what I want.
But the current focus is senior year, as the two try to get the Knights to winning ways before embarking on the next journey together. Reporting in Missoula, Kyle Hansen, MTN Sports.
Just ahead when Sports Extra continues, after a stellar freshman season, a Polson runner is ready to chase more hardware. Stay with us.
Welcome back to MTN Sports Extra, powered by MontanaSports.com.
A year ago, Polson's Morgan Delaney rolled to a Class A state cross-country championship as just a freshman. And as MTN's Derek Joseph tells us, she's setting her sights even higher as a sophomore.
As a sophomore, Polson's Morgan Delaney took home the state title at the Class A cross-country race. And now that she knows what she can achieve individually, she has set even higher goals for the rest of her team. After ending her 2024 season strong with an 18-minute, 35-second final race, Morgan Delaney proved to herself and the rest of the state that she will be the racer to beat for the next 2 years. To achieve such a high accomplishment, Delaney pushed her body and mind to the limit.
I was honestly so exhausted, I wasn't thinking very much. Didn't really know what happened. My legs hurt so bad. My old babysitter was the PT, and so she caught me at the line, which was pretty cool to see her, but I don't really remember the finish very much.
This year, Polson Cross Country has introduced a new coach who wants to push Delaney and the rest of the team to new heights. Luckily, the new coach knows just how far he can push his top runner because he is also her father.
Behind the scenes, I get to see both his dad and coach how much work she puts into it, and so it was really fun to see all that hard work pay off and see what she could pull off such a, fun accomplishment.
And now that Delaney knows she is capable of winning state again, this year she hopes the rest of her team will have something to celebrate as well.
For me personally, I'm trying to focus more on the team, and we're trying to place that state, possibly try to win state if we can. And personally, I'd rather do some great things as a team this year. And so it's really fun because we're all just working together.
In Polson, Derek Joseph, MTN Sports.
And that's our time for this edition of Sports Extra. Thanks for joining us. And remember, the conversation continues online at MontanaSports.com, where you'll find a recap of games in the Frontier and Big Sky Conference. And you can check out our hour-long Big Sky Conference special before Scripps Sports starts their season broadcasts of Cats and Grizz games next week. Have a great night. We'll see you next week on Sports Extra.